Hey everybody, Colby Trout with Mossy Creek coming at you this morning with your weekly fly fishing forecast. Today is Monday, September 11th. Well, we got a little bit of rain over the weekend. It was very localized. Checking the Virginia rainfall gauge website, we got anywhere from 1.5 inches upwards of 3 inches in different spots. Here in Harrisonburg, I think we only got about 1/4 to 1/2 of an inch. It's a very valuable website to see how much rain has fallen in the last 24, 48, or 72 hours regionally. That mixed with looking at the USGS real-time water flow gauges for Virginia can really help give you an idea of what drainages got rain, which ones are still very low. Give you an update right now as to what we've actually seen out and about with guides heading towards the South Fork of the Shenandoah River, and some of them heading out trout fishing this morning. So we don't have a lot of intel up in the mountains. Dry River, North River, for instance, those streams don't have gauges on them. North River does have one at Stokesville. It bumped up a little bit, but it actually looks like it might be broken at the moment. The North River gauge at Elkton also looks like it might be broken. It hit 104 CFS and is kind of flatlined temporarily. The Lynnwood gauge did that a couple days ago, and so we'll wait for that one to get fixed. What we do know is that Bridgewater got about 1.5 inches of rain. Mossy Creek is up and it's running dirty this morning. Fishing's been quite good. Andy sent us some photos of a brook trout that he caught, some rainbows. We know he's catching brown, so he slammed early this morning before 9 a.m. That means he's likely streamer fishing. The clarity of the water looked like there's maybe a couple inches of visibility there. So no terrestrial fishing or dry fly fishing, probably for a couple days until it starts to clear up. The good news is you can go out and throw those streamers, which we have not been able to do most of the summer with how dry it's been. So the spring creeks, the tailwater fisheries, still your best spots for your trout fishing right now. Does look like the Blue Ridge got a little bit of rain. We know that west of Virginia, over in West Virginia, they got a ton of rain. We saw gauges that were showing 3 to 4 inches of rain over the last, since about Thursday. So West Virginia should be loaded with water in a lot of different drainages and spots. Southwest Virginia has some pretty good flow right now. The storms in Central Virginia, Richmond, Northern Virginia were pretty intense. From Harrisonburg north to Woodstock, it was pretty thin and light, unfortunately. So we'll continue to update everybody as to what drainages got the most rainfall, which ones are flowing and fishing okay. Over the next couple days, check out our social media channels as we get out and put eyes on the water. We'll let you know what we've got to work with. The guides that went to the South Fork of the Shenandoah River this morning found North River very high and dirty. South River had some good water flow in it right there at Port Republic. It was running pretty clear. They headed down river to find cleaner water. It looks like they're fishing, most of them are fishing Elkton or downriver, and there's a little haze to the water, but still moderately clear. The gauge at Lynnwood is at 300 CFS and going straight up. Don't really know how high it's going to go. I think between South and Middle River, it's going to be totaling over 300. We don't know what North River is flowing at, but maybe a 400 or 500 CFS spike. And then if it starts to drop, give it a couple days to clear up and our topwater fishing should resume. The big thing to note this week is our temperature changes. It's muggy out right now. It'll be 83, pretty sunny. It's very humid from the rains that we got over the weekend. So it's going to feel warmer than it actually is, but we're going to have some temperatures start to drop and normalize for September over the next couple days. Highs in the 70s and even low 70s. And then our lows at night are going to actually get down into the 40s by Thursday and Friday. So lows in the 50s, dropping into the 40s by the end of the week. So that's great news for the trout and our trout fishing. The smallmouth, the topwater bite may slow down a little bit with those cooler nights and with that dropping water temperature. You might have to focus your topwater fishing kind of later in the day, early evening hours, before the insects really start get moving and the fish start to take notice of that. So load up on your big crayfish patterns, load up on your big bait fish patterns. Smallmouth really feed heavily on crayfish and minnows going into the colder months, packing on calories. So keep that in mind. You should be able to get away with some heavier tippet too. With how low and clear the water was, we were fishing 3x most days in smaller flies, with a slight bump in the water volume, but with limited visibility, you can get away with those heavier 0, 1, and 2x tippets now when you're bass fishing. Another thing to look out for would be fishing for musky again. We had a lot of bycatch over the last 2 weeks fishing small bait fish flies, and on conventional, just small lures, even small soft plastics, having small to large size muskies grabbing our bass flies in conventional lures. We anticipate water temps are going to be safe in the 60s, if not now, in the next couple of days. So muskie are back on the menu for anybody that wants to fish for them. You can do so responsibly. And with the lower water, they're going to be consolidated to those big, long, deep pools. So pretty easy targets, reasonably speaking, for muskie that are challenging to get to eat, but they've been very active lately. So another fun thing to fish for. Carp as well. And outside of that, again, we'll have to update you as we get reports from the different drainages, and our guides kind of moving around. We'll see the forecast isn't showing much rain in the 10-day forecast. It looks like we have a possibility of some afternoon thunderstorms Tuesday night, and leading into Wednesday. Hopefully we'll get another little pulse shot of rain to add to what we got over the weekend. And that should carry us on for another week to 10 days. And hopefully we'll have a change in this weather pattern and we'll start getting loaded up for our fall fishing season. Until then, thanks, and we'll see you next week.